Hello again, this is TheBeardTalks, and this is just another video because I want to speak about with you a specific subject. Now, my other Tuesday vlog is already uploading at the moment and should already be up now, hopefully. And I've had to edit a bit because I did this bit during that film, so you'll see a bit of editing at the end of it. So, I want to talk about cloud gaming. Now, what do you think? Straight away, what do you think? Please comment down below and tell me what you think. Because literally, Nvidia's game cloud boss has come out and said next generation consoles would be the last. Excuse me. Now this, I do not agree with. There's a massive article about it, and I'll put a link down below for the article. Go and read it. I read through it, and I was like, I agree and I don't agree. The first bits I agree on are that yes, cloud gaming is probably the way to go in the future, but at the moment, here and now, no. Mainly because in this world at the moment, the broadband and internet is literally, I know the internet's evolving, but it's not fantastic, it's not brilliant. There's only rare cases where you can get the most super fast broadband you can, which can stream, download, upload everything you can. But this is very expensive. Now, most places that have this is mainly universities, etc. And mainly handle with most of the broadband and bandwidth, because all those students need to go to the internet to check research papers, etc., etc., etc. So, I've just been thinking, is like, can they really deploy this to the general public? Because, no offence, like, my internet's alright, it does what it needs to do, and it does what I need it to do. But if I start going, oh, I want to play this game off the cloud, like in the middle of cyberspace on this server, then the tension I'm going to put onto it is going to be ridiculous. So literally the first thing this government and everyone else in the world has to do is update the internet. I know they're trying to do it now, but everything needs really to be fibre optic or better, because that's the best broadband at the moment, because there's less degradation of the signal in the lines, because mainly it's light and it's just bouncing along a glass tube. But there we go again, because if they don't update that, then they're going to have the same problems with lagging and latency as well between the signal, between the signal server and your computer or telly, because literally that would just be it. Because I don't think cloud gaming is the way to go at the moment. Maybe 30 or 40 years time, yes, I would agree. But again, a but, because you have to think about this logically. Because one, the cost of actually doing this is going to be ridiculous. The cost of the broadband needed to possibly do it, because on Steam at the moment you can download games. Everyone knows this who's had a PC. You can download games off Steam and just play them. For example, download Battlefield 3. It took at least about a day, because it was 16 gigabytes, because I didn't think it was that big, but it took about a good day or so to download. So you have to leave that running possibly overnight, but once it's done, it's on your computer, it's on your hard drive, done and dusted. But then you have to think, what happens if that game is on a server somewhere and you have to access it through that line? What happens then? And we come back to latency and lag, because then what happens if there's a fault in the system? What happens to how many people are logging on at the same time to the same server to get their stuff? Because you've got to think about it. All your games, all your saves and everything about you is going to be on that server. Nothing's going to be here. For example, your console, my Xbox, is sitting here. Everything on that hard drive has my save games, my user profile, etc., etc., etc. Now, Microsoft released like some kind of cloud thing where you can upload save games to the cloud, so you can go to a mate's house, access your account quickly and go, oh, cloud game, save game, you can break down and play it. Now that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about, but you have to think about it 1,000 times fold, because then you have to think, right, so I wouldn't actually have a disc, because so you would have to access the disc or the program on a server that's I don't know how many miles away, etc. And then you have to think about the time it takes between that. Now, even in the article, he said the milliseconds would be probably unnoticeable and latency be very, very minimal. But you think about it and you're just like, no, because even if you think about it, if everyone logs on, for example, right, if you think about general internet in things, like the main peak times are when people get home from work or school. So peak times would be between, I don't know, 6 and maybe 10 o'clock at night. That is the main peak time. And so bandwidth drops and everything drops. So your download speed drops, your streaming speed drops, the time it takes to load a web page drops. It's literally, I don't know if they're going to take that into effect, because if everyone is going to be using this service, which he says he was. Next generation consoles would be the last, and so that would be it, no more. And you're thinking, so everyone's going to be logging on to this service. Now, that to me just sounds stupid, because one, I know it's just going to take, as I said, it's going to take quite a bit of money to put that into effect, all the servers, etc. But even then he said it's costing less to set up servers. I don't know about that. I understand that, but if you have this kind of traffic that Xbox, PS3 have, then no offense, your server's going to have to be huge, and the amount of power of them and to freaking keep them cool would be ridiculous. Now this brings on to how much will it cost to actually get this service, this cloud service. How much would it cost? Would games be cheaper because you wouldn't have to buy a disc? And then even that, the disc, this goes on, would you actually own the game? Would you actually own it in your hand? No, it'd be out there in the air, in cyberspace, on a hard drive somewhere you have no idea about. What happens if that system develops a fault and it loses everything? Now that to me just sounds crazy. Now, for example, if the server goes down, overheats, breaks, etc., to get a technician to fix it. But what happens if the hard drive becomes corrupt? Game over. You lose all your saves, lose all your games. Now the only thing you got is probably maybe a receipt on your email section. I bought this game, blah blah blah. But you've lost all your saves. Now I know people are going to say that's not same. That's not as different as what can happen with an Xbox. But I've had Xbox now since the first one. The first Xbox came out. I've had one since then. And then when the Xbox 360 came out, I bought one of them. Then when the new one, the slim one, came out, I bought one of them because my old one was over the year's warranty, and so I thought, why not just upgrade? And I've had the Ring of Death twice, but nothing wrong with the hard drive. The hard drive has always been fine. It's just the system itself. Now, everyone knows about backing up your information on a hard drive. It always says back up, back up, back up. Even in school, they said always back up your work, always save your work regularly, etc., etc. Now you have a backup. That is your backup. Your hard drive is your backup. So when my Xbox got Red Ring of Death, I went, oh, that's wrong. Pulled out the hard drive, got a new Xbox, put the hard drive in. No worries. Literally everything I wanted there. Will they do the same? Well, they probably would have backups, but how much is that going to cost? Would you have to pay extra for backups, or would they just provide it just for you? Now, this is all in my opinion. Now, this might be wrong, this might be right, but this is my opinion. I'd like to hear your opinion. What do you think on cloud gaming? Think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Because at the moment, I think it's not a very good idea unless it comes into about, what, good 30 or 40 years from now? But even then, who knows if consoles will be about? Because at the moment, in that time, console gaming is not really going to go anywhere, because there's nothing more entertaining than having your mates around, sit around a console playing, I don't know, Call of Duty, FIFA, and just, you have a console, it's yours, you know it's yours, you own it, it's yours. Same with the computer game, the disc, you own it, it's yours. If you have this cloud-based system, do you own it? No, you're technically renting it. You are. You don't own it, you rent it. Technically, wouldn't you? So, what do you think? Would you rather own a console and have a ton of computer games, or would you rather rent somewhere a hard drive that has your games on the save card and you can't control it? You can just access it. And even that point, access, as I said, what happens if there's a fault in the line from here to there? There's a fault in the line, and so you get cut off. What happens if your broadband gets cut off? What happens if your router fails, etc., etc., etc.? It all mounts up, because no offence, there's advances in technology and there's advances in technical faults as well. Because the more advanced technology gets, the more problems there probably would, and the more specialised techniques you're going to need to fix them. Because I don't think, if you're playing this cloud system and you're sitting there going, oh well, I'm doing really well on this game, and you're fighting a boss or something like that, and your internet cuts out, and so the game should technically cut out. But what happens if you're playing online? Then the same thing happens again. But with a console, you can still play it even if you haven't got the internet. You don't have to have the internet to play the console, or even though most games nowadays you do, which is stupid. But you can still play the single player, which is pretty damn good. And now with most Call of Duties, you have Spec Ops mode, Zombies mode, and Black Ops 2, etc., etc., etc. So, what do you think, people? Do you think cloud gaming good, bad? Tell me what you think. My opinion is that if it comes in the next 30, 40 years, it might be alright as long as the technology's there to back it up and they think it through and do it all correctly. But at the moment, it's not a chance in hell. next generation consoles are going to be here for quite a while. I think the older consoles are still going to be here for a while. So, what do you think, people? Good? Bad? Tell me your thoughts, please, down below. My thoughts are, no. Rather stick to my console and actually own it. Thanks. This has been the extra video I've produced for you just on Cal Gaming. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all for the Thursday show. Keep calm, people. Grow a beard, because it is awesome. Catch you later, people. Bye-bye.